Hello everybody, it's Scorpet here, and I'm back again with another Steven Universe vlog, and today's episode is Same Old World. And do excuse, this is a little quick update, do excuse, not having the Groppeteer suit, and, where's the Groppeteer right now? This is, how do I say, let's say this is the second studio, I guess, to the one you usually see for, like, cartoons versus cancer. I might make these shirts soon, that'd be cool, or something like that. I might do a few more vlogs at least in this studio. I have two studios pretty much, and depending on the week, I'm in one more than the other. So we'll just see how that turns out. But it's not the studios you want to see; it's the man behind the glasses. So today's episode was Same Old World, and this is a good one. In this episode, following the events of not really Gem Drill, but more of the Super Watermelon Island thing. Lapis is still sleeping. She's all tired. Jasper is still sitting at the bottom of the ocean or whatever, probably plotting to come back in a future episode, which he will. I don't even think he's like dead or anything. Okay, if anybody actually thinks that they killed off Jasper and they didn't even show his face at all before they killed him off, get out of here. Do you even know Rebecca? Do you even know the girl? Oh my god, my hair looks horrible. Looks like a rat's nest. I haven't showered in 9 days. That's 9 years, I'll tell you. Back in my day, you took a ladle and you poured yourself clean. So anyway, yeah, Lapis is still, we got off topic here. Lapis Luigi is still tired after the whole, thing that happened with, all that neat malachite stuff. So when all the gems pack up and leave the barn because they're pretty much done the entire gem drill thing, which, yeah, they are. They are done the whole cluster thing. Cluster's not coming back. It's not. It's probably not. They packed up. They left the barn. The barn's where they were doing all the cluster stuff. I'm pretty sure that this is the last we'll see of the cluster. Watch my last vlog, and I'll further elaborate on that because I don't want to take up this episode, which is great. I love this one. So yeah, everybody packs up and leaves, and Steven goes to look for a lion, but he can't find it, and when he does, when he can't find lion, he finds that on top of a halo, corn, I think it's called a halo. Anyway, I don't live in farm country, that's farther up in New Hampshire, okay? So anyway, yeah, he finds a corn. He finds one of those things, and Lapis is on top of a tall structure that stores kernels of grain or corn for the winter or for further use. And he goes up and he talks to her. And it seems Lapis tried to leave before, as we saw. And she thinks she doesn't have a place in this world. So Steven plays property brother, and he thinks that if they go out and look at all the beautiful property on the world, that Lapis will be interested in buying. So they go through, they take a little flight on her water wings, and they look at the forest, and there's this really nice scene they do where they just go through the forest, and Lapis just kind of looks at the forest, and like it doesn't sound cool now that I say it, but it's just like, show don't tell. Lapis could be like looking at the leaves and be like, wow, this place real sure is beautiful, and you'd be like, what looks better for like someone who's really trying to show their artistic ability is someone who can turn to someone else and do the basic human function of, wow, this looks beautiful, or like artistry that like you draw a character and he's like looking at the the leaves or whatever, and you can just see the emotion on its face, and you know that this character that literally doesn't exist, it's a two-dimensional piece of, well, this isn't exactly made on paper, but you know what I mean, can, show that emotion. That's great, especially and I hate to say it, in a syndicated television show. That's great to see that, that kind of effort and artistry goes into it. Any other show would have been like, wow, these leaves sure are beautiful, but SU is different, what can I say? So, they look at all these nice leaves, they go to Empire City, which it's implied that Beach City is in Maryland or Delaware, because I know that Rebecca Sugar used to like vacation there or something. And then obviously Empire City is probably the Empire City, which would be New York, and the Keystone Motel, back from Keystone Motel, is in the Keystone State, which is Pennsylvania. So I'm thinking that either Delaware or Maryland were talking for where Beach City is. I think Ian Jones-Cordy answered it on Twitter or something, like that it's a mixture of the states, but I can't be completely sure. And then they go to New York, and then they go to Jersey, and they totally destroy it. It's hilarious. There's just, like, it's such like Steven Universe is a show, like, pretty much put in its own world, right? Like, it's crazy gem monsters and stuff, and it's like, that's not our world, obviously. And they just go to New Jersey at this one point, and it's already implied that Lapis doesn't like Earth. So they go in, and Steven, like, they just look at New Jersey, and they look at this, like, giant artery or something, this giant highway, and and Steven's like, you can stay in Jersey. The people here hate the Earth too. And it's just like Steven Universe is so cut off from our own world that it's so weird to hear someone make reference to something like a real life problem in our world. It's just hilarious. It's hilarious. And it was just it was just like the oh moment. They just burned a Cartoon Network show just dissed New Jersey on live TV. It's great. That's what I like to see from you. Good job, Steve Universe. You get a little sticker. I don't have anything against New Jersey. I've only, used it to connect flights to get to somewhere a lot better. But, I can't assume from what I've heard that it's the greatest place on earth. But that's none of my content. That's none of my concern. So don't even worry. So they're going all around the place, and they finally get to the galaxy warp in the middle of the ocean. And when they get there, we learn Lapis's backstory. She was just on Earth, I guess, looking around during the rebellion, or during the Gem War, I guess, and the rebellion smashed her up into a little tiny, her gem, and they put her on the back of a mirror to make her talk and tell her, all kinds of rebellion secrets. It's implied that the crystal gems are the ones that did it, so there wouldn't be rebellion secrets, would they? Oh, wow, look at that reflection off yeah, you can see it in my eyes. The sun is literally right there, because there's a window right there. It's right in my eyes. It's a good thing I got these babies. So yeah, it's implied that the crystal gems are the ones that broke Lapis into the little frame. I don't know if it's the crystal gems that we know, or if it's or maybe the group of rebellion, people were called the crystal gems. Because it's implied that there's a lot more people in the rebellion in this episode. I thought it was just a few gems. I guess it was like a real big army. That's pretty neat. That's really cool to think about, actually. That also, kind of implies that Garnet, Amethyst, Pearl are the only people that stayed on Earth to protect it, and that's also really cool. And so, yeah. So she was put into the mirror and forced to, tell them all the secrets of Homeworld, but she didn't know any of them, so they kind of just left her to be. And on the giant rush it took, with every gem going back to Homeworld, she was cracked. Pearl found her, and then, that's continued in Mirror Gem and Ocean Gem and all that stuff. And that pretty much wraps up the Lapis, backstory. I'm glad they didn't, well, okay, I guess they did spend an episode on it, but I'm glad they didn't, draw that out really long, like some other shows that I really like that are starting to draw out their plots a real lot. I mean Adventure Time. I don't know if you could tell when I didn't say the name of the show, but that's what, okay, I implied, okay. Anyway, so they see that Steven tells her, hey, Earth's not that bad, it's a great place. So they decide to stay on Earth, Lapis decides to stay there, and then she sees Peridot, and it's like, what? And then the episode just kind of ends there. Overall, I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. Well, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I'd say, okay, it's the best episode of Season 3, which, by the way, can you believe we're on Season 3 already? No, it's the best episode of Season 3, but it doesn't have much competition in that reign. But it's just one of my favorites overall, I think. The Same Old World is really, really good. I love the shots of the city. I love going through the sky. I love that it's pretty much an episode driven by two people, and it's just them talking. It's not like they're fighting a monster together, and they gotta learn the power of teamwork. They're literally looking for, a property, I guess, like a house for her to live in. and doing so, they just look all over the world. It's just really pretty. It's a nice episode. What are you gonna do? It's just, I love, like conversation episodes like this sorta, or when people are just kind of, talking and an episode builds from there. And this episode is really, really good at just, Lapis and Steven talking. I don't know who wrote it. I'm guessing probably Jeff, but it's really, it's just really good overall. So good job, Jeff. I really just enjoy the interactions. When they go to the city, which is obviously New York City, I'm pretty sure they have this. They have the Empire State Building. They have this little Times Square, like that building that comes in the middle. They got a little dog copter sign on the. That's really nice. But it's like this. Rebecca Sugar has a certain style she does with like nighttime scenes, and I don't know if she's the one that background designed this entire episode, but you can it kind of looks like her cover of that Estelle album, which isn't a city, but it still has like that kind of design to it. And the city looks gorgeous. Even New Jersey looks gorgeous. They even found a way to make New Jersey gorgeous. The animation is great. The characters are amazing. The way that they tell the story in this episode is just outstanding. Overall, it is a very, very good episode, and probably one of my favorites thus far. So that's pretty much it. I'm happy to see Lapis back. I'm happy to see that they kind of are wrapping up, or they have literally wrapped up everything that's happening at the barn. They're going back to the temple. I miss that place. So unless there is anything else to add, no, I will see you guys later. So thanks for watching. What'd you think of the episode? I don't care. I don't.